This is a video that will be detailing how and why I rediscovered fear. Let me first start off by talking about the video series I give a rat's ass about, which was intended to be a series, but I've only ever made one. I want to get that out of the way before I actually go into this review, and I had intended to make this a video series, but I am very lazy, and the only thing motivating me at the time was the possibility of winning a copy of Hotline Miami from a contest. I did win it, and I never got back into it, so I never actually also found a game that really inspired me to make another episode, but this game did that. This is a game that really did inspire me to make another video for no reason other than wanting to do so. And some of you may be wondering, why exactly Jimmy Neutron? Why Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius out of all the games in the world to make you fucking want to make a new video? Well, you can see kind of right there. You know what? Let me just skip right to the part where I show you why I want to review this game. Can you see where the fear factor is starting to play in? You also might be wondering why I decided to play this game in the first place, and I'm not really sure I could give you a straight answer on that. It's a game from my childhood, and I just remembered that I had it, and I decided, hey, this was a game that I really liked. Maybe I should see if it's all nostalgia, if there really was anything to actually salvage from this, how good it actually was. And what I did not expect was to encounter genuine fear. And I'm not saying this as a way to, like, create a comedic sort of narrative for me playing this game. I mean, I was playing this game in the middle of the night when everyone else in the house was asleep, and I had to stop playing because it was making me paranoid, and I kept looking over my shoulders, and I just decided I have to play this in the daytime when there's people around, or else I will never get anything in this game done. It started off subtle at first. I went into Jimmy Neutron's house, and the first thing that caught me was that there was this staticky sound coming from the TV. It sounded like muffled speaking through the static, and then I looked and I saw this face behind the static, and I started getting kind of creeped out. And then I found this secret hiding spot inside of the fireplace, and everything just felt kind of empty and weird, and that was the start of my paranoia, but it wasn't enough to get me to stop playing yet. For a while, everything was fine, but then I had to visit the school. I'm not sure if it's a glitch or if this is how the game is supposed to look, because I've seen gameplay footage of the school, and a lot of the pictures I saw, do you see how there's like this weird dark fog to sort of create a draw distance? I can't think of why they would possibly do that, but I've seen pictures of the game without that happening. But then I also looked gameplay up on YouTube, and other people seem to have the same thing going on, where the hallways are completely dark. On top of that, the music seems to be very inconsistent in the hallways. Sometimes I'll walk in and there's absolutely no music playing, but then other times you'll get this really dramatic, like orchestral horn music, which is supposed to only play when you're racing Nick through the hallways. And there was even a time where I was walking through the halls, there was no music until I got close to the exit, then the music started playing again. And right here you can see the music just changed when I got my scooter out. So that's a thing. Later on, you have to fucking go to Area 51 because when you race Nick, he gives you the Area 51 map. When you get to Area 51, you have to go into this abandoned mine shaft right here, which I do not remember. I have beaten this game like twice, maybe more when I was little, and yet I have no memory of this mine shaft. There's also a little bit that you can explore towards. It's like this not so secret door with a little shaft going down. And I explored a bit and I found some red neutrons, I found some coal. Other than that, there was nothing. It was just a big round canyon. And I can't think of a reason to put that into the game, but I also don't remember this at all. And I can't think of how I could possibly miss that. Maybe I was just a dumber kid than I remember. But I don't know, something about that really threw me off. After this, I got abducted and then sent to that nightmarish fucking Scream spaceship. You know what? That would have been fine if it was just, if that was the end of it, that fucking ship, that would have been fine. I would have been able to play for the rest of the night. But then something happened that made me want to not consider playing anymore. At this point, I was tired, I was confused, I was scared, I had no idea what was going on. And then this fucking music plays while I'm stranded in the middle of the fucking desert on top of a rock. And then there's this shit right here.
No civilians are allowed here. Time to go home, little man.
This doesn't feel like a Jimmy Neutron game. This feels like the start to a really bad creepypasta, like a really shitty one. But like even shitty creepypastas, I don't want to be a part of that because you know the person at the end always fucking dies. I don't want to die. I don't want to keep playing Jimmy Neutron at night. So that's about when I stopped. Why is there a black van driving around that can send you back to where you came from with some like random ass man doing the voiceover? It sounds like they actually got some CIA spook and like put him in front of a microphone to say whatever the hell he would say to a little kid who just wandered onto Area 51 premises. I'm sorry, THQ, but this is just not my idea of how a Jimmy Neutron game would look. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. THQ made this game. Somehow, in the design process for a Jimmy Neutron game, THQ thought that adding hellish screams and creepy techno music with CIA agents chasing you in black vans was a good idea for a Jimmy Neutron game. But you know what? Let's just push past all that. Let's ignore the creepy shit for a moment and let's focus on something we can all agree on. This game controls terribly, and at first it was kind of negligible because, you know, it has really floaty, weird jumps, and that was fine because the platforms are really big, so how could you possibly miss? The answer is they added a grappling hook and the damn thing doesn't work. Are you seeing this? I have no idea what kind of logic this thing works on. This grappling hook will just randomly decide to detach sometimes. Sometimes it makes sense, like you touch a surface so you drop. Other times you'll just drop in midair, and there won't be a single explanation for why that is. If we're being honest though, would you really expect good controls from a budget title based off of Jimmy Neutron? No, you wouldn't. If you were, then what were you thinking? One thing that I will say is that there are a lot of bizarre side distractions, things that give you extra points, but since there's no high scoreboard, that's really pointless now, isn't it? So you end up with like a very large amount of these distractions that serve no practical function. Like launching this rocket doesn't contribute to anything, it's just there, it gives you a few more points than you normally would have, and you get an animation to go with it.
Oh no, must have been a dud.
In what way, Jimmy Neutron? It flew. I can't think of a single way that could have gone any better than it did. Let me show you a scene right here that I won't tell you what's gonna happen, I won't provide any context for it, but this is a scene that happens in the game, and it's something.
Hey Goddard, I need to locate a part that only you can get to. Can you help me?
Is it dangerous?
Yep. You gotta enter the sewer here.
Is there a chance I might never be coming back?
Yep. But I really need you to locate the computer part Sheen dropped.
Tell Mom and Dad I love them. Do your best to bring me home. I'll be back.
Goddard spoke. And that isn't the last time he'll do that. There's a second scene in which he talks, and let me show you that real quick.
Goddard, communicate with the plant's network and get me the blueprints for the building.
Right away, Captain.
I sense danger. Only my grappler and baseball modes are safe in here. Any rocket flames would blow this place through the roof.
I have the layout. I have found power switches located throughout the building that need to be turned off. You must locate each power switch and turn it off by pressing the button on the console. The rotating light will stop once deactivated. You will also have to turn off the industrial fans from a distance with your baseball mode, as they will keep you from getting near the power switches. The plutonium is located in a room on the top level of the power plant, overlooking the operations.
You could have probably guessed this on your own, but they don't actually explain to you why Goddard can talk. He just can, and they expect you to just accept that, even though there are many other times in the game where he just barks. They also expect you to just accept that he changes voice actors for no reason. And you know what? That's fine. I mean, he's a robot. Whatever. Robots change voices all the time. You see, that would make sense, but there's already proof that Jimmy Neutron doesn't seem to have the technology to create voices that are so convincing. And by voices that are not convincing, let me just show you.
Loading invisibility simulation. This level will teach you how to use your invisibility invention. Press the left mouse button to activate your invisibility invention. Your invisibility will be limited and will shut off so the batteries can recharge. Once the batteries are recharged, you can activate it again.
Jimmy Neutron is a fucking genius, and he couldn't create a virtual voice better than technology we had in real life at the time that this game was out. Instead, he had a bunch of these weirdly filtered, pre-recorded messages that he sort of chopped together, and I'm not sure why he would do that. That seems a lot more time-consuming than having someone just describe these things or creating a virtual voice that actually works. But then this proves that Jimmy couldn't have possibly given Goddard that voice, or else he's just lazy and just refused to put it into his tutorial systems. But I really don't buy that. I don't think Jimmy Neutron is that lazy. Do you see the shit he makes just for fun? Jimmy Neutron's not that lazy. I swear to fucking God, he would totally make a better text-to-speech thing than this horrible tutorial voice that takes 5 minutes to explain how to use one mechanic. Go to hell, Jimmy Neutron. I guess I should also tell you about how the missions in this game are structured. To put it short, they're not. You're given an objective, which is usually just get to a certain place and interact with a certain person. You are free to explore the world as you see fit on your way to each objective, and there's really nothing stopping you. I'm not sure if there are any lose conditions at that point, but pretty much sky's the limit. You can go wherever you want, do whatever you want, find as many secrets as you want before you have to go to the next objective. And I remember when I was really little, I thought this was one of the coolest features of the game. What isn't quite as cool, however, is the character models.
Jim, James, Jimmy, son. What can I do for you?
Absolutely awful. Also, the same exact cutscene reminds me. Listen to Jimmy.
Mom needs the tool chest key. Do you have it?
Mom needs the tool chest key. Do you have it? What the fuck is that delivery? As I kept playing this game, I slowly began to realize that this was less a video about a beloved game that I had a lot of nostalgia for, and more about the vast amount of things that I don't understand how I found acceptable when I was a kid. I mean, I know why I had fun. I mean, it's an open world Jimmy Neutron game in which there are a lot of interactive animated things to do and just play with. But the presentation of this game and the sound design, the gameplay elements given to you, the fucking level design and art style, it's all either extremely weird, extremely creepy, or just bad. Just flat out bad. And now that I've given you that insight onto my current opinion of the game, let me show you my favorite area from the game when I was a little kid. This area that I'm about to show to you was the most magical and amazing thing to me, and looking back on it, I'm ashamed of myself.
Enjoy the ride. Remember, today is Dr. Lord's last day for autographs.
Show me the mommy ride here.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn here!
Those voices in the background, they don't go away. That isn't something from the start of the background ambience. It just happens over and over again. It's also different for each part of the park, so let me just show you the worst part.
Come on, move the line along.
Get your ice-cold purple flurp here. Hey, maybe you will puke. Ride the dizzy ride
No
here.
waiting here. First come, first ride.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn here.
Come on, move the line along.
Get your ice-cold purple flurp here. Hey, maybe you will puke. Ride the dizzy ride
No
here.
waiting here. First come, first ride.
Popcorn! Get your popcorn here.
Over and over
Come
and
on,
over
move the line
and
along.
over
Get your
again.
ice-cold-
There's like 2 more parts to this game that I will describe pretty quickly. And the first of these is my least favorite part of the game. I thought maybe I just hated this part of the game because I was young and bad at video games, but would you play this? Would you have a fun time with this? I don't think so. If you do this perfectly, you might make it in like 5 minutes. In the 15 minutes it gave me, I took up 12 minutes. It's also worth noting that Miss Fowl is here as well.
All over the place.
Thanks for saving me, Jimmy. Am I glad to see you? The Yokians are draining energy from the power plant, causing it to overheat. We need to turn it off before something bad happens.
Don't worry, Miss Val. There are plenty of technicians in there. I'm sure they have things under control.
They've all been abducted by the Yokians. Jimmy, you are our only hope!
So basically, for some reason, the Yokians are taking nuclear energy from a nuclear power plant. They don't really explain what that's for, but moving on. Instead of explaining everything in great detail, I'll just give you some snippets of what really matters in the final half hour, I'd say, of this game.
There's the Yokian ship entering that cave. Carl's sure to be on it.
No civilians are allowed here.
Wow, that statue looks freaky. We're in the belly of the beast now.
Intruder alert! Anaphylactic shock.
We're in the belly of the beast now. We're in the belly of the beast now. We're in the belly of the beast now. This game is almost over. This will be the toughest area yet. Ah, the dreaded Yokian Fleet Commander.
What are you pointing at me?
Help! Okay, I tried the peaceful approach. Prepare to be scrambled!
Send them all back home.
Time to go home!
This isn't the last time we meet, Jimmy Neutron.
That's the end. I beat the game. The game's over. I beat it. With all the recordings I took of this game together, this game took a little under 2 hours to beat, and I don't remember why exactly I loved it so much, but I still kind of love it. I mean, there's like so many shitty 3D environments to explore, which I really do love. If you're a fan still of games like Lego Island, or that one Lego game that was set in a movie studio and it was only like online, it was a browser-based game. If you're fans of games like that, then you should definitely try out the Jimmy Neutron PC game. There's so many weird, stupid things to find that are just kind of magical in their own right. Well, I don't really know what else to say about it, but I hope that everyone in their life will get to experience the feeling of being terrified by a childhood game that never terrified them when they were a child.
Good job, Jimmy boy. Good job, Jimmy boy.
Way to go, Jimmy. All right, Jimmy!
I couldn't have done it better myself.
I knew you could do it, Jimmy.
Good job, Jimmy. You did okay, Neutron.
Don't think this means I like you more now, Neutron.